Well, my name is Sister Catherine Molloy, or as I'm called in Kumbo, Sister Catherine, or Justista. And my my age is, well, let me tell you this. I entered the congregation after I left high school, which was 1956. So I will leave you to do the math. And my current ministry depends on the day that it is, because I'm involved in a number of projects. So I live in a house of formation where we have young people who are exploring the possibility of a call to the congregation. And then I also work with water projects in local villages, and I coordinate the activities of our little library that we have for students in the area. Sister Lucy is a member of the staff of the Office of Justice and Peace for the Diocese of Kumbo. And in addition to their work of reconciliation and conflict resolution on local issues, they have become aware of a major trafficking issue in what we call Bui Division, which is the northwest region of Cameroon, and women are trafficked to Kuwait. And as this became known, the office decided that we needed to do something that would highlight the problem, because many people were not aware and still are not aware. So we had a marvelous march. We gathered in what is called the roundabout, which is the center of Tobin, and people came in from various villages. They came in trekking, they came in with their motor escorts, they came in with their banners. It was really very moving. And at our gathering at the roundabout, we had the opening prayer, which is very much a part of everything we do. We had welcome speeches, which is also traditional. And in addition, Sister is in charge of the Justice and Peace Office, was able to invite a woman who had been trafficked and who had come home. And she gave a witness. And it was really an eye-opener for everyone, what her experience was and how she managed to escape and get back to Cameroon. From the roundabout, we walked up to the government office of the senior divisional officer, begging him to take a petition that we had all signed to the government in Yaoundé, because there seemed to be no awareness on the part of the government in Yaoundé that this was happening. And the SDO agreed that he would take the petition, and we understand that some things have begun to move. There are some of the traffickers who are now in jail, and they're working to try to find ways to bring home the women who have managed to escape. We now are working with what we call 43 partner villages. And the work in the villages has ranged from initiating a water project where there was no water in the village at all, to helping to extend village water systems, or to bringing water to the school or to the health center. So the projects are not the same, but we do have 43 OK village partners. And right now we are in the transition time, because when we celebrated our 10th anniversary, a government official asked why we were not recognized by the Cameroonian government. And we said, oh, well, you see, when OK Clean Water started, we had no idea we were going to grow up and become an association. We started with 17 stand taps for widows and single mothers. And as the project grew, then the question of becoming an association surfaced. So right now we are in the process of working with our villages for education for sustainability, and helping them to understand what it will mean for them to become an association, the benefits that are involved, which will be the ongoing availability of our consultant, our engineer who works with the project, and then also being able to, by their contribution, continue to extend water to new villages. And we have the help this year of a young volunteer from Engineers Without Borders from the University of Glasgow in Scotland. He's with us for the year. He's a tremendous help. He's able to get out to the villages, do the follow-up work, and we have a process and a timeline. And if all goes well, by the end of June, the beginning of July, we will be recognized by the Cameroonian government as an association with Cameroonian leadership. Well, the library is wonderful. I mean, it's just delightful, continuing. I call myself a recycled teacher, and we have a saying in New York, you can take the teacher out of the classroom, but you can't take the classroom out of the teacher. And I think that's true, so I'm delighted to be able to continue to work with young people. Our library is open for school children twice a week, Tuesday afternoons after school and Saturday morning. And the age range is about 2 years to 16 years. So we have 3 different groups operating in the library, which is why obviously I cannot do that all by myself. So we have assistants who come and help. Sometimes the assistants are older children who know the routine. They can work with the younger children. They can help sign in books. They can help sign out books. They can help reshelve books. And because of the kind of education that the children are receiving in school, which is quite limited, it's wonderful to provide them with another kind of learning experience. And this last 2 years, thanks to the support of Sister Mary Ann Rossi, who came to be with us, she started a book club. And we now have, this past year, we had 6 secondary school students. And we read a variety of books and discussed them. And one of the books they read was I Am Malala. And they were so impressed by Malala's story, not just the Nobel Peace Prize, but her whole life story, that they decided they would write to her. So they have written to Malala, and we have sent her a photograph of the group, and we're all dressed in traditional dress, as she is on the cover of her book. So they're still hoping that we will hear from her. And the library is what it is, again, like the OK, because of partnerships. People have been very, very generous with books. We started with 18 books 14 years ago, and we now have over 2,000 titles in the library. So it's fun. Oh, that's a big question. Well, the hopes, let me start since we were talking about children. The hopes for the children would be that they would get an adequate education that would prepare them with life skills, with a deep faith, because one of the gifts that I receive from the people among whom I live, they are the NSO people, NSO. It's a particular tribe. There are over 200 tribes in Cameroon. And this is, so I can only speak for the NSO people. But the depth of their faith, the extent of their sense of community, which is a social network that I think has been lost in other places in the world, and their hospitality. If you come and you are welcomed, they're very gracious. And then if you tell them you are staying for a little while, then you are highly welcome. And they just reach out, and so we hope that the children will hold on to these values and not get caught up in some of the other things that are distracting younger children elsewhere. Because when people ask about the children there, they have 3 centers to their lives. Their first one is family, and their second one is school, and the third one is church. And those are the 3 areas that take their time and from which they receive their values. So if these children, as they continue to grow, will have the opportunity to use their talents, to use their gifts. Unfortunately, while the government is supporting education for everyone, at the same time, there's very little development in the country. So the two do not go together. We have many, many youngsters who have finished university who have no jobs. So if we can educate the youngsters to take their place in society, and as things change, they know things will have to change, that they will be ready to exercise their leadership.